Hello, assalamu alaikum everybody. Hope you're all safe, sound, and healthy. And I'm back because the student protest, what it's all about. The students have been protesting for more than 2 days now, and they are basically protesting all over Pakistan. Although the protest began in Lahore, first the protests were localized within the campuses of the college of Punjab group of colleges, two of its campuses. From within there, the protests emerged, and then they evolved, and now they're nationwide. What happened? Well, the strange thing about it is that they try to cover up the news. Well, that's not the strange thing, I guess. I guess what I'm trying to say is the strange thing about it is the fact that they are trying to cover the news after claiming that a female student was raped by the security guard of her campus. Now, let's just understand the scenario, the situation, the society in our country. In our country, a poor man would never dare to do such a thing. I mean, I'm sure there are cases, but try to understand where I'm coming from here. Imagine that you have a security guard of your college who knows that he has no connections, he has no backing. This is Pakistan we're talking about. Pakistan, where criminals are ruling over us, where everybody needs to have a connection in order to get scot-free from any crime that they commit, where the poor man or the middle class man will always suffer consequences of crimes, whether they have committed it or not, because they don't have connections, or they don't have financial backing, or they don't have the right kind of backing that can help them to get out of the situation. So you're telling me that a security guard raped a college student, and then the principal of that campus decided to delete the records of that female student so that they could claim that she doesn't exist. And then they go and they hide the security guard? Seriously? And then Maryam Nawaz, the chief, this unelected fascist chief minister, is suddenly active in helping cover up the case by dragging out another girl, a fake girl, and claiming, oh, she was the girl, she actually accidentally fell, let's create that narrative. And then the students were like, this girl, this is not even the girl, who are you talking about? She's a completely different girl. So you see what I'm saying here, why I find it very strange, which is why I just don't know what to say here, because I'm thinking to myself, the only reason the government would be actively involved is not just, obviously you have the fact that Mia Amir, who was the owner of Punjab Group of Colleges, and so the owner of this women's campus in Gulberg, where the whole incident erupted, that he is very, very, very closely linked and tied to Shehbaz Sharif and family. And after all, he has amassed all this wealth, not through honest means, but obviously because of his connection and attachment to the Sharif family. He managed to establish Punjab Group of Colleges and then expand them so quickly, to this extent that he actually has now allied school as well, and then he's got the Dunya channel as well, and he's got everything under his belt in such a short span of time, and he always seems to get these things done when Shehbaz Sharif or Nawaz Sharif or there's somebody in their family is in Punjab government. Get it? You see, he always seems to get something new, a new project going, signed off immediately within hours, whenever Shehbaz Sharif or Nawaz Sharif are in the government. So there we are. So never mind the fact that Mia Amir is the owner of this group of colleges, and it is in one of his own campuses that this has happened, and then they would obviously rush to try and cover his ass. But the fact that the principal is so actively involved that they are trying to say that first the girl doesn't exist, then they're saying no, it's the guard that did it, and then and now the guard is also disappeared, the girl is also disappeared, everybody's disappeared, and I'm sorry, all that fuss to save your security guard because that will save the reputation of your college? Yeah, I don't think so. I think somebody else's was involved. I think some people were involved because, as we know, rapists who are heavily connected to the Sharif family have always been very, very active whenever the Sharif family is in the government. We all know that. And we have had so many rape cases whenever this government has always been in play. So, and every single one of those cases were always dismissed. The perpetrators were always let go of scot free, and you just, everything is always covered up, and I just see the same thing happening. And I've also find it really, really odd how it is that just recently there was this huge scandal of an Indian doctor being raped, and that and it's so strange how it is too eerily similar to that incident. you know the incident is too eerily similar, or maybe we find it very similar because it just happened after we had that huge shock of the Indian doctor, and now suddenly this happens to a freshman of college. I guess you would call them a freshman. It's first year student, a first year student freshly admitted to college, and this happens to her. I'm sorry, but I don't buy it. I don't buy the fact that a security guard was involved. I think the security guard, if anything, was a witness, and he's been whisked away and he's being framed, and they're either going to force him to say he did it, if this thing can't be covered up, or, as they're already doing, they're just trying to say it never happened. Why? Okay, if it never happened, why would you go and delete the records of an existing student? How can you make somebody stop existing? You can't. Just because you deleted the records. Let me tell you one thing. You can never 100% delete any record. There is always traces. There's always fingerprints. There's always DNA. And I'm talking about technically speaking. I'm not talking about actual fingerprints and DNA. I'm telling about how every single person's existence leaves traces, either technologically or physically. You can't, nobody can cease to exist. There's always traces, okay? Her parents, her family, her class fellows, the people who started the protest. I mean, these are people who knew her, What are you trying to do here? Just once again reminding us how stupid you are, or how you just don't give a frack about us. And again, the fact that Maryam Nawaz dictates the Punjab security police to hit those teenager students who are protesting on behalf of a victim who, for all intents and purposes, has passed away, really. I think you should be proud that our young generation has this much common sense in them, that they are, instead of being hypocrites, they are literally fighting for somebody else, for somebody else's right, for somebody else's life, for somebody else's justice. They could have just sat down and be hypocrites like our parents' generation, the evergreen hypocrites, that caused Pakistan to be where it is today, that caused America to be where it is today, that caused all of the countries, that universally useless, the worst ever most toxic ever generation ever to have been produced in the whole world, that has wreaked havoc all over the world because of their hypocrisy and their cowardice, and the fact that they snubbed their own kids and never allowed them to stand up for what's right, which is why all our countries are fracked today, to this point that we have no future. At this point, when my generation, our generation, is literally raising our voices and trying to fight that big hypocrisy, that big useless trap that we have been put into, and we are fighting every bit of the way very hard and getting nowhere. And and in that case, having this young generation, these young fresh teenagers come up and fight for that life, I think this, if anything, we should encourage them. If anything, we should be with them. If anything, what the frack are you people doing out there, you postgraduates and graduates? Get your asses in here. I know the students of LUMS have come, but again, Where are all the other graduates and postgraduates? Are you going to be like your parents? Are you going to be those hypocrites? Is that what you're going to turn out to be? Oh yeah, we as if we didn't have enough of those here in Pakistan. Thank you very much. What the frack are you doing? Get your asses out. What are you studying for if you're not going to put it into practice? You know why gaining knowledge and education is an obligation in Islam? So that you should stand up for what is right, and you should terminate and eliminate what is wrong. You should speak up for those who are wronged, and you should punish those who have wronged. That is why an education is an obligation for every Muslim. If you think that just learning how to read and write and getting good marks so that you can travel abroad and get a good job, or just enter into your parents' businesses and make money and sit down, and that you've made it in life and that's what education is all about, then you are exactly the very definition of what we call padhe likhe jahil, right? You are educated illiterates. You're bums. You're useless pieces of shit that have nothing, no value that you can add to this world and its civilization. Period. Yeah. So if you're actually students, if you're actually graduating in subjects, if you're actually studying in colleges and universities, get your asses out there, and show us that you're actual honest to God students receiving actual honest to God education and awareness and knowledge, and that your brains have opened up to something in life. I am glad to say that this is a nationwide protest. I'm glad to say that all the students, of undergraduates and some graduates, all your students are coming out, and you're just, and the fact that it's so shameful that once again we have this female chief minister, and what is her role here? She's telling the police to beat up these teenagers to stop the protest. Seriously, you bitch? Because that's exactly what she is. See, again, I am one person who shuns, undermining anybody's character, be them female or male, but especially females. But she is literally a bitch, as in she is. I'm not abusing her. Seriously, I'm not swearing at her. She is a bitch, okay? And now she's showing what a bigger bitch she is by once again using police force. By the way, how many students over there protesting belong to families of police officers? Because as far as I know, the Punjab group literally wanted to have this project where they could have, I mean, that's why they started the allied school. If I remember well, Mia Amir basically started allied schools so that he could do something for, the police, their families, their kids, that he could give them some sort of a special place in his schools, where they can always know that their kids can study there. So obviously that would expand to the colleges, right? And that would expand to the university. So imagine how many kids right now protesting actually have policemen in their families. And you're telling the security police to go and beat them up. Wow. And what kind of police do we have that they're actually going to attack kids of their superior officers or their juniors or their colleagues or their peers, I mean, but then again, that shows, again, as I said, that just shows the breed of parasitical hypocrites that we have in Pakistan, which is why I always say that Pakistan is a country now that is overtaken by traitors, cowards, and toxic people who never did jack shit for this country. And even now they're very actively destroying this country because of their orders, because apparently they don't seem to believe in God, because where God comes in, where religion comes in, according to our religion, according to God, we will pay for every single wrong that we commit against another person, even if it is by the orders of a superior. In fact, we will probably be punished double for following those orders blindly, because the one thing that Islam hates is following blindly. As I keep on reminding people, in the second chapter of the Quran, in Surah Al-Baqarah, God begins by mocking man. for blindly following their forefathers and calling it culture and tradition without even knowing why they're doing the shit they're doing, you know? And here you all are doing the shit that you're doing and not even knowing why, or not even caring because, oh, your jobs are more important than the life hereafter. Well, you know what? Good for you, because I would have a lot of fun seeing all of you live an eternity of hell, desperation, helplessness, mortification, and never ending death, never ending misery. I would just love to sit back and watch you all go through that forever and ever and ever and ever and ever without any end. That's amazing. I'm definitely going to enjoy that. And this comes, I mean, basically, what I'm trying to say once again is this protest is important. And it is important for us to encourage these children to stand up for what's right, especially when we are already bemoaning the fact that the new generation, like the old generation, doesn't know jack shit. It doesn't know to differentiate between right and wrong. But look, we have these people in their early teens or mid teens fighting, standing up for what is right. We should encourage them, we should appreciate them, we should join them. We need to join them. I think even the parents, the families, everybody needs to join. And I'm sure they will be joining. More and more of them will be joining. Right now, it's overwhelmingly students, but you will see it's going to go massive, because the fact that they did such a stupid, moronic act of trying to delete the records of the girl, and then, where are those women empowerment movement people? Why do they always seem to never appear whenever this government is here? Why were they so active when Imran Khan's government was there? And they were so active citing cases that actually took place during this government's time, but they wanted to blame Imran Khan for those cases. It's so funny because now all those women empowerment people and all those women rights groups, not a peek, just not even a single peek from them. Where the fuck are they? That's what I want to know. And what I find even funny is how first post, 6 hours ago, first post, first of all, thank you for being 3 days late, but okay, 6 hours ago you decided to post an article. And how do you post it? Where you have written how rape of college student in Pakistan has fueled protest, sparked widespread anger, and you have literally written rape in inverted commas. Are you crazy? So you're trying to say that the rape was alleged? So it means you're going with the government's narrative, or you're going with the principal's narrative, the principal of the campus? Is that it? Seriously? Wow. I wonder who fed you that. I mean, it's not like I ever, ABC and First Post. To be honest, I don't trust them anyway. I always find their narratives very hicky-picky, But ABC goes, between, as in, sometimes they go under the dictation of the government's narrative, and sometimes they go the other side. So, they try to stay in that. They try to bring a little bit of lie, a little bit of truth, so that you can, keep on wondering if they're actually giving you the right news. But First Post, I salute you for your immense stupidity here of putting rape in inverted commas. Yeah, right. You just showed where you stand. I mean, the fact that the student was said to have been absent. Okay, again, if you're saying that there was no student, then how can you say that the student was absent from October 3rd to the 15th? So, I mean, you see, first you're saying there was no such incident. Then you said the student was absent from October 3rd to 15th. Then you said there is no such student. She doesn't exist. So what is it exactly that you're trying to do here? What is it? The fact that the Punjab's chief minister, Maryam Nawaz, literally stands up and says no rape had taken place. Yeah, bitch. You didn't get raped is what happened actually. Maybe you need to get raped so that we can talk about how rape gets, how actually rape takes place. Seriously, we have a female chief minister. And the first time we have a female chief minister, we have a female chief minister ordering the Punjab police to sexually harass and assault female members of the PTI, then sexually harass female Pakistanis who support PTI, then sexually harass, threaten, and blackmail older females who are related to PTI members. Then you have rape cases and you say no rape has taken place. Amazing bitch. You're just an amazing bitch. You are American through and through. You're proving, you're just proving to your American masters whose bitch you really are. Way to go, way to go. I mean, it's not like we don't know what you're doing here. I mean, if you remember the minute they took over, what did I say? Expect crime rate to rise, expect terrorist incidents, expect chaos to reign, because that is the only way a fascist government can control a country for another country, you know. And obviously, there is also this bid, of the Pakistani army that is trying to convince the American establishment to let them, have full reign as an open dictatorship, which America is trying to, negate. And so America is saying this, these fifth columnists that we have placed here, the bitch Maryam Nawaz and her family, and then Zardari, the a-hole, and his family, we need them there so that we can keep this pretense of a government while we issue the orders. So here, Maryam Nawaz is wagging her tail now at the American establishment. Look, I'm making work so much easier now. I'm making the destruction of this country so that it can be in your hands and you can use it anyhow you wish, in your wars against humanity, So she's wagging her tail while she's claiming no rape had taken place. Amazing. So, what are we learning from this? We are learning once again, that the Punjab government is once again very actively working to cover up a rape case. And at the same time, the students are out protesting. And they are trying to tell you, the Punjab government is trying to convince the world and the people of Pakistan that all these students that are protesting all over the country are protesting about a non-existent case. Just explain that to me, please. I mean, just explain how they thought they could get this narrative going seriously. Just explain that to me. The campus was shut down. Good, okay, but don't you think that all the students should withdraw from all the campuses so that the owner, Mia Amir, should finally realize what happens when you degrade the same people that are putting that money in your mouth? No students means no fees. No fees means no profit. No profit means nothing going into your mouth. This disrespect that you're showing towards your students, I think every student of the Punjab group of colleges, I think every one of them need to boycott this institution so that the whole institution should collapse and it should shut down forever. And I think Dunya News also, his channel, needs to shut down, because that is also not a channel that is giving us it's not giving us the right news. It is always, giving you the government's narrative. I think the people in Dunya News need to, wake up and smell the coffee. They need to boycott their channel. They need to leave the channel if they have any ounce of humanity. But again, that's, as I said, I don't expect much from the people of Pakistan because of the kind of history that we have. I don't expect the journalists of Dunya channel to come out and say fuck it, we're journalists, we can't let this shit go on. We can't expect other students of the college and the universities even to boycott the college or the university and the schools and all, and say that's it, we're never going to have anything to do with this person and any of his projects, any of his educational or other projects. No, because see, again, materialistic benefits is what everybody's always about, isn't it? That's what's always more important, right? Worldly benefits more important than people. Yeah, go screw yourselves. And this is me signing out for the Hafiz.